Next will speak Rabbi David Cohen from Congregation Sinai in Milwaukee.
The biblical book of Joel describes a utopian messianic future, a time when the old shall dream dreams and the youth shall see visions. Throughout human history, dreamers have always pointed the way. As the book of Proverbs puts it, without dreamers there is no vision, and without vision the people perish. These dreamers are the promise of America's future. Our moral obligation to them is founded on the values articulated in the book of Genesis. Created in God's image, every human is of infinite value, utterly unique, and co-equal one with the other. We are commanded to love and care for those who lack power, the poor, the widow, the orphan, and the stranger, to treat them with dignity and respect. There shall be one law for both the native and stranger, says Leviticus, one standard for justice and compassion. Yet had the prophets never spoken, our Jewish history would compel us to act and to stand here in solidarity. We were immigrants from the time of slavery in Egypt, through the DP camps in Europe. At times we were a despised minority, knowing all too well the fear and ill will that surround those who are different. When we hear immigrants collectively described as rapists and murderers, we remember how our ancestors were accused of flood libels and poisoning wells. We know these accusers. We have faced them before. When our elected leaders fan flames of fear into a firestorm of prejudice and hostility, we remember other demagogues who made the powerless scapegoats for all of society's ills. We know these demagogues. We have heard their dog whistles before. When bureaucrats separate family members, deporting some to countries where they know no one and don't speak the language, we recall the kinder transport and the selection process at Auschwitz. We have stood before soulless bureaucracies before. When private prisons under contract to U.S. Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement violate anti-slavery law by forcing tens of thousands of immigrants to work for $1 a day, or sometimes for nothing at all. We remember how the industrialists of IG Farben and Volkswagen once took advantage of such forced labor. We have seen such immoral opportunists before. And when innocent children are punished for their parents' transgressions, we understand that this is a basic lack of fairness. We have seen this kind of injustice before. In the face of these current attacks on human dignity, we cannot but recall our own immigrant forebears and reflect, there but for an accident of history go I. If religious tradition demands our care and concern for the stranger, how much the more so should we care for those who have lived among us practically their entire lives, particularly when we have signaled their acceptance by creating DACA and encouraging them to sign up. Now is the time to make good on that promise and to vote for human dignity. In so doing, we will fulfill God's expectation expressed in the book of Micah, that we do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with God, and thus take an important step to make America great again.